Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 1.3. Actually, in this lesson, we're gonna learn a new concept in microeconomics, which called production possibilities curve, PPC or PPF. Production possibilities frontier or curve, it's the same. And we're gonna know also that this concept is related to what we learned before in previous lessons and how the PPC works. Okay. PPC means that it shows the maximum attainable combinations of two products that may be produced in an efficient way, or while we're using our resources efficiently. We're going to also learn four assumptions of the PPC. Only two goods can be produced on PPC. Full employment of resources, fixed technology, and the phrase of ceteris paribus with the fixed resources. I want to mention something very important. I can't remember if I mentioned that before, but I think I explained that already. But let's revise it quickly. Capital goods and consumer goods, what's the difference between them? Capital goods are goods and consumer goods are goods also. But capital goods, they're the goods we produce to produce the consumer goods. For example, if you want to produce, let's say, chocolate with milk, you need the machine for that. You will import it from another country in order to produce chocolate with milk, right? So you will buy this machine from other places or other country in order to produce the consumer goods, which is chocolate with milk. And mostly, or most of the time, those countries who produces capital goods, their economic growth faster than the countries that only produces consumer goods. Let's complete. Okay. Ceteris paribus. I know this word or this phrase is weird a little bit, but that's okay. It's a Latin phrase. This phrase, it's related to two products, to variables, to whatever you want. And it concentrates only or take into consideration the cause and the effect. And if I have problem in my production process or in my resources, only I'll take the cause and the effect. In the opposite of that, we have a word or a phrase, called a Latin phrase also. It's mutatis mutandis. Hakuna matata. Okay, mutatis mutandis is a Latin phrase and it's opposite of ceteris paribus. In ceteris paribus, we only took into our consideration the cause and the effect. How my process stopped or decreased or for any reason, I only take the cause and the effect in ceteris paribus. But in mutatis mutandis, I'll take into consideration all the factors that affected my production process. Okay, let's take an example about ceteris paribus. If the price of milk increases, ceteris paribus, people will purchase less milk. Yes, that's true. Here we will only take the two factors, cause and effect. Increasing in the prices will decrease my sales, right? So the cause is increase in prices. The effect is decrease in sales. So without taking into my consideration any other factors such as maybe the milk is not available anymore, the cow, it's not available anymore, the workers are not available anymore, I'll not take into my consideration all these factors. I only take into my consideration the cause, he increases in prices, and the effect decreases in sales. Okay. PPC or PPF, we're going to talk about graphs here and curves. We have three types or three different PPCs. One we call it constant. The other one we call it, we'll mention that I have an increase here. And the third one, I have a decrease on my graph or my curve. But there's something in common between the constant PPC or the constant in my opportunity cost and increasing in my opportunity cost, that both slopes, they are negative. They are negative because they are downward. will move downward. بننزل نزول. Okay? This is because of trade-offs. Yes, of course. While we're doing or while we're trading, while we're doing anything, we are in a trade-off because we have to make choices. And when you make choices, you're sacrificing one, okay, or giving up something instead of something else. That's why the slope is negative and downwards. Okay. Production possibilities curve, we're gonna talk about now the most important concepts related to the graph here. I have the points A, B, C, D, and E. Now, efficiency, efficiency, that means all resources are available and I'm using those resources efficiently. I have full employment. Those points are above the curve, as you can see, A, B, C. Those A, B, C, those points are what? Efficient or efficiency. I have efficiency here while I'm using my resources and while I'm doing my production process. If I look at the point D, this is called underutilization, which means I'm using my resources inefficient. So I have a gap or a problem while I'm producing a product or while I'm doing the production process because I'm using my resources inefficient. Let's look at the point E. We call this point, the place for this point, it's unattainable. That means I don't have enough resources to reach this point, but it might be in the future that if you have an economic growth and the resources are available enough to you, this curve might move from left to right and the point E will be attainable. That's not a problem. But since here I'm talking about this graph and I am explaining each point, A, B, C are efficient, E unattainable, D underutilization. Okay, now it's already explained. Now let's complete. We have two types of efficiency. We have allocative efficiency and productive efficiency. When I talk about allocative efficiency, it means that I am producing at a point that my society desires. For example, let's look at this graph. I have wheat and I have sugar. If my society asked or required that they want an equal or about an equal amount in producing wheat to sugar, that means here my allocative efficiency point is going to be C, 60 to 70. It's about to be what? It's about to be equal to each other. In productive efficiency, I am producing a combination while I'm minimizing my costs, which means I'm talking about all the points above the curve, all the points above the curve A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, as we mentioned before that F is underutilization. Why it's underutilization? It might represent higher than normal unemployment. The point G, it's unattainable since I don't have enough resources to produce both goods. Okay. Now, law of increasing opportunity cost, law of decreasing opportunity cost, and law of constant opportunity cost. To make things easier about the laws of increasing, decreasing, and constant opportunity cost, I'm going to explain this example, berries and rabbits, to make things easier, cuter, and to understand more. As you can see, I have three graphs with different types of lines, curves. I have straight one, I have a bowed out, I have a bowed in, curves. Now let's see what does that mean when I say increasing in opportunity cost. What does it mean decreasing in opportunity cost? And what does it mean when I have a constant opportunity cost? So let's start with increasing in the opportunity cost with the middle graph, and let's see how we're gonna trade off with one of my products or your products, and how does that affect your opportunity cost. Imagine that you have already 300 berries in your basket, and then you decided to hunt or to catch one rabbit. So you'll move from here to here. Okay. This movement or this sacrificing or giving up in berries, let's suppose that you give up with 20 berries, and in the other side, you're catching one rabbit. Okay? Then you decided to find more rabbits. You want to hunt or to catch 2 rabbits now. So that means basically you're moving from this point to this point. As you can see here, I sacrificed more of my berries in order to catch 2 rabbits. So here I will give up with 40 berries. That's my opportunity cost. Then you decided to catch 3 rabbits. Then here I sacrificed by 60 of my berries in order to catch 3 rabbits. So my opportunity cost here is here is 60. Yes, you lost or you sacrificed or you gave up by 60 of berries in order to have 3 rabbits. If I move downward more to catch 4 rabbits, you will sacrifice or your opportunity cost will be 80 berries. Then you decided to catch 5 rabbits, and this is the maximum number of rabbits you can catch, as you can see here. We will move from this point to this, from this point to this point, which means you will sacrifice or your opportunity cost will be 100. As you can see, we're moving down, okay? What happened to the opportunity cost? It increased, okay? This is the bowed out curve. It looks like this with the opportunity cost. Once you're moving down, the opportunity cost will increase. But what about decreasing in opportunity cost? Let's look at the same case, rabbits with berries. Here, as you can see, guys, I have already in my basket 300 berries. And then I decided to catch 1 rabbit. 1 rabbit. Let's move down. Okay, it's not accurate 100%, but so here I moved from 300 to 200. That means my opportunity cost here, in order to catch 1 rabbit, I will sacrifice by 100 of my berries. If you want to catch 2 rabbits, you will sacrifice, or your opportunity cost is going to be 80. So you will sacrifice by 80 berries in order to catch or to have 2 rabbits. If you decided to catch 3 rabbits, your opportunity cost is 40. So you will sacrifice or you will give up with 40 of berries. If you decided to catch 4 rabbits, sorry, this is 60. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, guys. If you decided to have 3 rabbits, then your opportunity cost is going to be 60. If you decided to have 4 rabbits, your opportunity cost is going to be 40. If you decided to have 5 rabbits, your opportunity cost is going to be 20. So if you decided to have 3 rabbits, then your opportunity cost will be negative 60. Or so that means you sacrificed by 60 berries in order to have 3 rabbits. If you decided to have 4 rabbits, okay, so your opportunity cost here is going to be 40. If you decided to have 5 rabbits, your opportunity cost is going to be 20. Here in this case, why it's decreasing in this way. At the beginning, when you decided here to catch rabbits, or one rabbit, sorry, while you're having 300 berries, here you don't have all the equipments to catch a rabbit, and you don't have all the skills, so it will take you time to do that. That's why you started with what? You started with 100 opportunity cost in front of berries, because here you are not prepared enough. Then your opportunity cost decreased and decreased and decreased, because here you are professional. You are a professional hunter. And constant opportunity cost, here I'm talking about whatever you or where you're producing, whatever you're doing here, the opportunity cost will remain the same. Okay? Yani, if you decided to catch one rabbit and you have already 300 berries, but you decided to catch one rabbit, let's assume that each time you decided to catch one extra more rabbit, 3 rabbits, 4 rabbits, 5 rabbits, your opportunity cost will stay or remain the same. This is the differences between increasing, decreasing, and constant of opportunity cost. Now let's back to our PowerPoint. We'll skip this. Okay, I already give an example, so this is extra one. Okay, and this is an extra example. All these PowerPoints, you can find it on our website. Just I tried to make stuff more easier with the berries and rabbits. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about economic growth, and economic growth, how we know that there is or already we have a growth in our economy. It exists already. When your curve move from left to right, imagine that you are producing radios and TVs, then your curve will be moving from this side to outward, bowed out more. It's kicking out to the left, right side. That means, guys, that there's an economic growth here. Why? You have a new technology, you might have an extra resources, factors of productions are available efficiently. So that's why you have here an economic growth. That's what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that any unattainable point it might be attainable one day if there is an economic growth. Okay. 3 changes cause the PPC to shift to right, as you see now, or you saw now, sorry. PPC can shift outward to the right, showing long-term economic growth. Why? If you have increase in your productive resources, that means you have a lot of more efficient resources, while you're minimizing your costs in quantity or in quality, like as land, labor, capital, human capital, entrepreneurship, and others. New technology that you have, if you have a new technology, you will be more efficient and productive. International trade based on comparative advantage. This is going to be explained in lesson 1.4, the comparative advantage, but let's mention the definition of that. Comparative advantage is an economy's ability to produce a particular good or service at a lower opportunity cost. Yes, at a lower opportunity cost than its trading partners. If you are competing with others and you can produce with a low opportunity cost, this is what we call it comparative advantage. We have 2 types, absolute and a comparative, and again, this will be explained in next lesson. Okay. Countries that produces that, I mentioned that before. Countries that produce more capital goods will have more growth in the future, because capital goods produce other goods, while consumer goods are made to increase individuals' satisfaction or utility. Yes, of course. Okay. Economic growth example. Let's look at this example. Pizzas and machines. Pizzas are a consumer good. Machines are capital goods. So since this point, I have, as you can see, shift here from left to right. Since I'm moving from the point A to the point X, that means I increased my production in capital goods more than consumer goods. Point A would be more beneficial for this society to experience economic growth. Yes, of course, because هلا each nation or يعني كل حدا, it has its own satisfying points or target to reach. So هون they decided to produce more machines and to sacrifice by producing pizzas, because machines are capital goods which will make an economic growth, as you can see here. But pizzas, no, it satisfies individuals' desires. Let's talk about specialization. Also, this is going to be mentioned also in the next lesson. A situation that occurs when individuals or business produce a narrow range of products to maximize resources. Yes, if you specialize in something, you will be more specific in your production process. So, for example, if you are producing only, let's say, wheat and barley, that's you're specialized in that, in those both products. Here you can maximize your other or your resources more because you're specialized in those two products. Economic interdependence, a situation in which producers in one nation depend on others to provide goods and services they don't produce. Yes, we are depending on other countries, we are exporting from other countries. We call it economic interdependence because we're depending on other countries instead of producing those products. Economic contraction, that means the opposite of economic growth. We are moving from right to left. That means I have something wrong in my production process. There is a decline here, so the curve will move from right to left. Okay. Shifters from right to left, I have 3 reasons. First one, change in the quantity or quality of resources. Yes, if your quality, for example, for any product, the quality, it's not good anymore, or you have a poor quality, then what will happen to you? Your growth or your economic growth will decline, so your curve will move from right to left. Change in technology, you might do not have a new technology, or you have an error or something wrong with your technology, so that will affect your production process. Trade, the production possibilities curve can show how these changes affect as well. Let's take examples. Here are some scenarios. Okay. Now, as you can see, I have 2 graphs. First one, TV's cars. Here I have coffee gemstones. This curve it's already moved from left to right. Here, Chinese schools teach a new advanced manufacturing technique to all workers. And this graph here, the left one, shows an improvement in the quality of resources, human capital, causes economic growth. In this graph, as you can see, it's moving from the efficient point to underutilized point, as you can see here. The graph on the right shows what happens when a country is producing at an inefficient point to high unemployment. Here, what happened? The Brazilian economy plunges into a recession and the unemployment rate rises. Yes, here I have a higher unemployment. So here I'm producing with a level of inefficient that causes my efficient point to move into inefficient point. I have here a high unemployment. Here in this example, barley wool, fish and rice. In the first scenario here, as you can see in Ireland, they discover a new, more productive method of producing barley. They discover. So in this graph, as you can see, I have an economic growth. It moved from left to right. Impacts one good that a country produces, and the graph shows what happens when the quantity of resources changes. هلا هون what do we have? We have chose a new technology. There's a development in technology. So that's why your curve, or the curve here, moved from left to right. And the other graph, in this graph, we have a severe famine causes millions of Chinese to immigrate to other countries. That means I don't have enough workers to produce either fish or rice, and that causes the curve to move from right to left. We have key terms here for this lesson. We have 7 key terms, as you can see. Constant opportunity cost, increasing opportunity cost, common economy, production possibilities, shifters of the production possibilities curve, unattainable outcome, underutilization resources. And here, guys, you have to answer this question correctly, waiting your answers. Excellent, good job. This is the end of our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and see you next lesson, guys. Bye.